Welcome to Under the Winged Helmet. I'm Kyle Simmons. I'm joined by former Michigan offensive lineman and former NFL offensive lineman Thomas Guynes and the host of the ASAP Elite podcast, Rob Penn. How are we doing tonight?
What's happening?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, week 6. Wolverines defeated Indiana 31-10 in Bloomington. The win takes the Wolverines to 6-0 for the second straight season, which is something that actually hasn't
bowl eligible.
Bowl eligible.
Yeah, true.
Right, there you go. Yeah, so that's the first time they've been 6-0 to start a second straight season since the 1970s. Something I read today. But yeah, Blake Corum had another great game for Michigan, finishing with 124 rushing yards and a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy threw for 304 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. And Ronnie Bell had 11 receptions for 121 receiving yards. The game was tied at 10 at halftime. I remember the three of us were actually, texting about it. But then the Wolverines took control and scored 21 unanswered in the second half. So we'll start with Thomas. What's your analysis of this game versus Indiana last Saturday?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you at the beginning of the season, we were going to get a field goal blocked, and it happened in this game right here. Fortunately, we blocked one of theirs as well, so turnabout is fair play. But I think when you look at the stats, as you alluded to earlier, overall we had 165 yards rushing, and we had 304 yards in the passing game. So what that's telling me is that our offensive coordinator is finding ways to take what the defense is giving us. A lot of teams obviously has been doing their film study. Everyone knows that we are a run-first team. But by us being able to establish the run, go with that play-action pass, then it starts to open up the passing lanes. As you alluded to, Ronnie Bell had a big game. I want to say he had 11 receptions for 121 with Schoonmaker looking at 9 targetings. So all that to be said, we're passing the ball around. Everybody's getting a lot of love, and we're trying to give a lot of those defenses a lot more to think about than just Blake Corum. Again, having number 7 coming out of the backfield, doing his thing on Edwards, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, I think, is really going to be one of those key components to his game, but also to our game offensively. Again, just continuing to give defensive coordinators where they're going to go. Are they going to run the ball? Is it going to be the tight end Schoonmaker? Hopefully we'll get all back at some point in time in the season, and continuing to watch our receivers to mature, grow, and get out there and show what their skill set's all about. So overall, I thought we had a pretty good game. It was tight, and I told everybody that. We get too caught up in the pedigrees of certain teams, but not really understanding what certain teams bring when they play us. And I've said it time and time again, even when I was a player, Indiana always plays us hard, either in Ann Arbor or down in Bloomington. So hats off to the Hoosiers for bowing their necks and, giving us a good competition. But at the end of the day, the better team won, obviously, is the Michigan Wolverines. Go Blue.
Hey, go Blue. Rob, what you think? What's your take?
Well, first off, I want to start off by saying, get well soon, and best wishes to Mike Hart and his family. Hope that he bounces back quickly and gets back on that sideline. We're going to miss him. Secondly, I wanted to give my hats off to the kid, McCarthy, for having his first 300-yard passing game. It was a dogfight. Like you say, the whole time through, that 10-10 halftime score, and was able to finally, drag him into deep waters. Again, like I heard the announcer say on that, during the game, it's just something that we do. We stuck to the pedigree, but we also leaned on our stars to really get the ball on, and not be predictable, which we've spoke about the past few weeks. We also, one thing Thomas alluded to was how tough Indiana was. And that's all I could think about the entire game. When it was 10-10 and we were in that dogfight, how tough they are and how good their quarterback looked. And they had a pretty good receiver over there too, man. So, yeah, they're a few players away, man, from really, being competitive in this Big Ten, man. So I want to tip my hat to them. But like I said, we stuck to the pedigree, we stuck to the program, we stuck to the plan, the strategy, everything that we needed to do to really take advantage of this team and really beat them, and go these body shots, loosen them up. So we were able to go ahead and take the top off in the second half and get that dub.
So, Thomas, I want to ask you, like I said, it was a 10-10 game at halftime. What do you think was that big difference in the second half?
Oh, so clearly it was just adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a defensive standpoint, we were playing a lot of man, come back, and our DC puts us in zone. And I think we were getting a little bit better pass rush up front. And as I said before, our offensive line did a good job. We got some really good push at times as far as converting some short yardage plays, giving JJ some time. JJ showing some great touch. JJ had a play where he rolled out to his right, had a defender between him and the receiver on the sideline. So what was really cool for me to watch was, again, not only the athleticism. We know JJ's hell of an athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and we know that the arm talent's there, but his ability on the move to just drop it in the bucket just enough over the defender's head, just fast enough that it doesn't get picked off, but just catchable enough that it makes an easy catch for the receiver. First down, move the chains. So, JJ's continuing to show us his maturation and his mastery of the offense. Again, got to keep him healthy. So that's going to be on the big boys up front, making sure that he doesn't get beat up too much. And JJ has to continue to play within the confines of the offense. And when he gets ready to, do the JJ thing, do it in a smart way. I want to say that pick that he threw, that was probably an ill-advised pass, just trying to force some things in there, but it is what it is. Luckily, it didn't hurt us too much. Other than that, I just think our coaching staff did a really good job, especially with Mike Hart going down. Now, the most advantageous thing for us when Mike did go down was the fact we got Fred Jackson on the sidelines. Fred Jackson's first year at Michigan was my freshman year, so 1992. Fred's been around the program for a long time. I want to say Fred's been there 1992 to 2014. So he's not new to this. He's been with the team all year this season. So, definitely he's got a good feel for the boys in the program. And also, who did Mike Hart learn from? Mike Hart played under Fred. I'm sure Fred and Mike have had some really good film study sessions. So I'm more than confident in Fred Jackson's ability to step in, fill those shoes that he once wore on a permanent basis. And, we shouldn't miss a beat as far as that goes. Other than that, we just have to continue to perfect the craft, let our offensive and defensive coordinators continue to come up with great schemes and put our boys in the most advantageous position possible.
One thing that we don't do enough of and that we haven't done is really shine a light on our defense. Man, they're stroking, man. Every week, they're either pitching shutouts or giving up a couple scores during the game. Just a little bit over 200 yards this last week. It's a defense by committee. We have one of the top safeties in the game here with Turner and Green. Hey, man, I got to tip my hat to that D. They're playing some ball.
Good point.
Yeah, I definitely concur. And I like the way how our defensive coordinator, when Indiana tried to go tempo on us, and I don't really know how the rule worked, but, they were taking our guy that was the furthest from the sideline and running them off the field. And I guess within the college game, the officials have to get that player time to get off the field. And doing so gives us time to kind of figure out, are we in the right formations? Do we have the right personnel in? So, there's definitely some cat and mouse. There's definitely some chess being played there. But again, that's kudos to our defensive coordinators being smart, understanding what was happening, because in my opinion, I concur with you, Rob, but I really feel like when teams go tempo on us defensively, we get out of sorts. Especially in the secondary. It seems like our secondary is a little lost trying to figure out what the assignment is, what the formations are going to be. So that's going to be something in which I'm going to be watching real closely as the weeks progress, our ability to match our defensive formations with tempo when the offense brings tempo. In addition, what they did do is every time that Indiana subbed, that they brought in the entire D-line package. I did like that also. So they were adjusting. They were on top of it. Yes.
So as we get ready to go on to week 7, we have the number 10 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. It's not to say. As we go on to week 7, we have the 10 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions coming in Ann Arbor for a maze out this week. I guess we expect this to be that first true test here for the Wolverines this season. Penn State's coming into the game at 5-0. They're led on offense by the trio of Sean Clifford, Nicholas Singleton, and Parker Washington. It's going to be a tough game. So, Thomas, What do you think we're going to have to do to win this game?
I mean, simply put, we're going to have to go out here and at some point in time show a level of domination on both sides of the ball up front. As I've said time and time again, I think we have some of the best skill players in the country that are able to compete with anyone. But in my opinion, we're going to have an offensive lineman showing that we haven't seen all year. We're going to have to see Blake get out, and Blake's going to have another workman type performance, probably with 20 plus carries. I believe Blake can do that, but at the same point in time, too, I don't want to wear this kid out. There's still a lot of football left to play. With that being said, Edwards and our other running backs, the rest of our stable of running backs, are going to have to step up and get some meaningful clock in order to give Blake some time just to rest, catch his breath. Now, again, as I said, offensive line, we got to do a job. I think we're going to see a lot of stunts and twists from Penn State. In doing so, I think they're going to try to test us early and their ability to get JJ shaken a little bit. And from that, I believe their defensive coordinator sees what I'm seeing. You got a racehorse that wants to run, but let's see if this racehorse is skittish. And what do I mean by skittish? Skittish in the sense of he starts to press. And once he starts to press, because of the fact that either the rush is getting to him, maybe he can't get the passes off like he wants to. Now he's going to start trying to do things on his own outside of the confines of the offense, at which point in time he's going to make a mistake and turn the ball over. So as long as, again, I'm going to say it time and time, I'm a boring guy, ladies and gentlemen. Stay inside the confines of the offense, protect the ball, punish these dudes up front. Our offensive line and tight ends have to punish that Penn State front seven. Again, this is going to be a war of attrition, and I feel like that once we get in halfway through that third quarter, it's going to be a telltale sign who's been doing a better job up front. If we win that war of attrition on both sides, meaning our defensive front seven gets home, continues to hit that quarterback, I don't think people really understand the cumulative effect of hits, good hits on a quarterback that it has on said quarterback. And so if we're able to prevent that, and if we're able to also get that, hell, I think in the Indiana game, we had 7 sacks as a team. Yeah, it was something silly, right? So all that to be said, we need another workman-like performance from those guys on defense as well. I think if we do that, because of our skill positions, and we're playing at home, we still have a lot riding on the season. Like I said, we're already bowl eligible, but we haven't guaranteed ourselves in the bowl that we really want to go to. It's going to be a great game. I'm calling the score. It's going to be 21-14.
21-14. So, Rob, who do you think are going to be the key players this week for the Wolverines?
It's gonna have to be our horses. We're gonna have to ride with the guys. It's gonna be the top 4 players. Let's get it. It's gonna start with JJ. Blake's gonna have to have a big game. Edwards is the factor here. Is the X factor. He's gonna have to be able to get some of these, use that big body to really pick up some of these 3 and 4 yard gains. That 3 yard in the cloud of dust type scenario. Ronnie Bell has to also catch the ball too. I saw Cornelius drop a pass last week that was crucial. Everybody has to do their job, man. It's going to be our top 5 guys. But I did have a question for Thomas, man. Penn State has always scared me. Always. Now, back in the gap when you were playing, I remember that team with Kerry Collins, Kyle Brady, and Keyshawn Carter. Yep. Tell us about the battles that you had with Penn State back in the gap.
I remember one game, and we actually lost the game. We were in Ann Arbor, and we were running into the north end zone. We had a zone play. I was playing right tackle. I don't know who the defensive end was, but I got a pancake. And so as I'm on top of the dude, Wheatley takes the ball, and my head's in the hole, and he knees me in the head as he goes by and takes it in for 6. I was concussed. There was no doubt. I was seeing stars. All I knew was we was running down. Hey, we scored. Again, Penn State has had some talented teams. The first year we played Penn State at Beaver Stadium, and we had that goal line stance where it was literally plays and our defensive front seven stuck them dead right then and there. We won that game. So now, funny story about that game is this. Because the airport at Happy Valley is really small, we couldn't take our normal jet, so we took 2 prop planes. So we had the offensive one and the defensive on the other. And it was a real bad snowstorm, a lot of turbulence. And as we were getting ready to come down for our landing, we smacked the tarmac. You never seen so many 300-pounders screaming in their life. And when we hit the tarmac, and you could feel the plane fishtailing like this, and we hit the tarmac so hard that the cockpit door flew open, and I had an aisle seat, and I looked over, and all you saw was the pilot was doing this, just trying to hold it together. Dude, it was hilarious to me. When I get scared, I laugh a lot, so I was laughing my butt off. So we made it. Like I said, definitely started a historic rivalry between the Maize and Blue and the Nittany Lions. We came out fortunate, won that first game. Had a humongous defensive stance with Buster Stanley and Bobby Powers and all of those guys up front, Jared Irons, Shantae Peoples. So if you get time on YouTube, I want to say that might have been 94, 95. Check that game out, Beaver Stadium. But, Penn State's almost like the Michigan of the East, if you will. Historic tradition, really honor and believe in the hard work and trying to do it right on the football field. And even though, they had the whole scandal and stuff that took place there, but when you just talk about pure football for what it is, it's definitely just one of those teams that you have to give a salute to and tip your cap to, because those guys have done it right. They believe in hard work. They believe in the work ethic and understand about what it is to enjoy the struggle. And because they do it like that, they've, always produced, it was linebacker U for a minute with all the linebackers they were putting out there and tight ends. So everything being everything, I'm really looking forward to seeing again how we're going to match up. The one thing I was really happy about in the Indiana game was I wanted to see us struggle. And I knew we were going to struggle just because that's just the type of effort that Indiana always gives us. And they have a hell of a coach over there in their head coach. So with that being said, I just wanted to see how we were going to bounce back from some adversity. And then with Coach Mike Hart going down too, that doubled it, right? But to the character of the team and the coaches, what happened? Halftime, get your heads together, boys. Let's make the adjustments. Coach Hart's going to be good to go. Get your mind back in the game. Let's win the game. And then once we win the game, we can take care of Coach Hart. But first of all, we got business to take care right here, right now in the present. So refocus, regather. Coaches, do what you guys got to go work your voodoo magic and put the spell on the boys. Let's go back out here and let's go get this dub.
So before we get ready to head out of here, Rob, we got to get your prediction. What do you think?
I think we go down this week.
Oh, man.
23-17.
All right, well,
it's a trap. And the crazy thing is this. It's a trap game, but it's not a trap game. It's a trap game in the sense of we're on a roll and we're having a lot of success. But it's not a trap game because of who we're playing.
Right.
And my thoughts are, if we come out and perform like we can, I don't think Penn State, quote unquote, has a better team. Mm-mm. I'm just looking to see if we come out and we perform under this level of pressure and scrutiny, because there's going to be a lot of this game right here is going to be a telltale sign, and it's going to have national repercussions as far as the standing goes. Whoever wins this game.
Hey, so we can't come out 10-10. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
that 10-10 that us playing at that level that we played against Indiana in the first half, it's going to get us beat.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I, unfortunately, do I think we're going to run the table this year? I don't think so. There's going to be a hiccup at least one. I'd rather have it sooner than later, and that we run the table from there. But we're going to have to continue to, like I said before, just perfect the craft. And as Rob said, we got to start jumping on people early and often and consistently. We got to sustain drives. We got to continue to put our foot on the gas throughout the whole game.
Yeah, because we were texting, man. And we were texting each other all at halftime, kind of like, what is this? Isn't what we were expecting here,
Yeah.
That's what y'all wasn't. I was expecting.
Well, yeah, you were, yeah. But
happen.
I was like, I wasn't expecting this, thought we was. I mean, I thought it'd be a close game, a tight game, but I wasn't expecting 10-10 at half.
You thought we was going to cover.
Hey.
And we almost covered. We only missed it by a point.
Oh, we covered.
I thought it was 22.
Oh, I think it was like 22 and a half.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we missed it by a point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
So it is what it is. But hey, Kyle, I'm gonna say this: we're gonna win. Have your Pepto-Bismol ready, because it's going to be a tumultuous, tense time watching the game. But just understand this: we're going to come out on the other side, and we're going to be all right. We're going to come out this game with a W.
I think we win 27-20. So that's my score. But so yeah, that's all for this week for Under the Wings Helmet. Come back next week where we preview the game against the Spartans. And be sure to listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and the Believe Network. For Rob Penn and Thomas Guynes, I'm Kyle Simmons. Go Blue.
Go Blue.